How proud of you were the team going to Gainesville playing like they did, coming away with a victory?
Yeah, really proud. Obviously it's an SEC team. It's a big rivalry game on the road. It was hot. It was thick. But we said it kind of all week going into the game. We said, we got to be mature. Right? We got to do all the little things right in terms of setting ourselves up, sleep, hydration, nutrition, and set ourselves up to play the game well. And we did all those things, and then they changed their tactics, and we had to be ready to tweak things a little bit. And we're still a young team, and there we were, whatever it was, 6 weeks into preseason, or 6 weeks into our season, including preseason. Sometimes with young players, you get a little bit of a drop-off, fatigue factor, school starting, all those things. But, we got some good performances out of some young kids, and the total team effort, and another shutout is obviously a big deal. So.
Nobody you play really plays you the way you expect on video, I presume, right? They always kind of throw a curveball at you.
Yeah, both of those SEC teams, Georgia we thought was going to come out in a 3-6-1 and a 3-back, and they changed for the first time in the season to a 4-back, and a little bit of vice versa. With these guys at Florida, they'd been playing a 4-3-3 and all of a sudden rolled out in a 3-5-2, which is kind of a 5-3-2. But they both showed their hands in warm-up, so we were able to tweak some things right before kickoff, which was helpful. I guess it'll continue to be that way. It's all good. We have a lot of smart players who can figure things out, and Taylor Huff leads us right now from the middle, and Ron sees things in the back, and Addie sees things in the back, and so we just got to keep on keeping on.
These results right before ACC play, and now it's coming up Syracuse. A couple days off for you guys. Just how important is that rest, especially with that, squad being thinner as we've talked about, and the games that you guys have played, with conference play coming up for you guys?
Yeah, we said it first day of preseason, first team meeting, that we were just fortunate with the ACC scheduling to have a bye week. This weekend I think Carolina's playing Wake, and Clemson's playing Vatech, and a couple other big games. We could be involved in all that twice this weekend,
Yeah.
But we'll be sitting on the freaking couch and loving it. So we were very, very fortunate, and our first ACC game is at home. So we got Mary back the other night. Unfortunately, Venezuela did not advance, so she flew back Sunday night. So we've added one more player to our team. We don't want to get the other 5 back. We'll take them back, but we want them to, both those teams, now that the round of 16 is set, if Brazil and U.S. keep winning, they play each other in the semifinal. If they both get to the semifinal, there's a third place game. So essentially they'll be all the way in Columbia for the full gauntlet. So we don't know what our roster will look like next week against Syracuse, but we know that we'll be pretty rested. Syracuse plays twice this weekend, and like we said, we don't play, so we're loving every minute of the rest.
You think you'll have Washington back too?
TBD on her. TBD. She's making good progress, and she'll get an X-ray this week and see how she's doing. But again, I've broken record with you guys and with everyone. It's our job to protect our players. We're not going to rush her back, and we need her for the long haul. We need all of our players for the long haul. So if she's ready, she'll play. But if she's not ready, she won't play.
Coach, when you have so many freshmen who've found themselves in a scoring sheet throughout this early season, you talked about it in preseason, you don't have the luxury of being a freshman anymore. How pleased have you been with how they've been able to really take that challenge?
They've been great, and like we said, it's even more so in this time period when more is asked of them, right? And sometimes with freshmen, anything they give you is icing on the cake. Now we're asking them to help us win games, right? And we're depending on them at a high level to win games for us, and then now adding in the school and other stresses, and then just the general fatigue of 5-6 weeks. And it's where you credit people like Elisa Angelis and Alora Sullivan, our strength coach and that athletic trainer respectively, for managing our players and their loads and their rest and all those things. And then our players being mature, right? We said it all week, like I just said. We've got to be mature in going to Gainesville and getting a win. I think they just broke a record for attendance in that game against us in that stadium in Disney, like 1,300 people there. And so it was a good crowd, and they were jacked up. They hadn't lost a game, and our freshmen showed up. And we're going to continue to expect a lot of them and ask a lot of them and ask them to be mature young women.
Serena Hudson got a goal. What do you think about her development? I mean, the tough thing about having the players gone is obviously you don't have their services, but the kind of the silver lining is some people
Experience.
get more they get more reps, and they kind of, they get better for the future. So what do you think about her, how she's coming along?
Yeah, she's had a lot on her plate the last couple weeks, especially against Georgia, right? And tactics changed in that Georgia game. We thought she was going to be kind of one-on-one in the middle of the center of the back, again in a 3-back, but now all of a sudden they had 2 kids kind of kicking her, and that was a bigger challenge for her. And like we've talked about, Brianna's the nicest kid on the freaking planet, so we're balancing trying to challenge her a little bit, but also ensure that she's in a good headspace and feels good about herself and feels confident. I thought the other day was so magical for her because she got 2 assists and a goal, right? And you never know where a player's head truly is, right? And she was probably lacking a little bit of confidence. The 3 days after that Georgia game against Villanova, she wasn't great, and I think a little bit of that was fatigue from Georgia, but then she also wasn't feeling that well physically. But there's nothing to do about it. She had to go and still give us 70 minutes because we needed her, because we limited roster, right? And so it wasn't her best performance, which then in turn, does that hurt her confidence a little bit? And then we've got to both challenge her and pick her up last week going into that Florida game, and she responded. So hopefully now she's feeling pretty good about herself as we continue to move forward.
So this has been a tough stretch with the players being gone and everything. What have you learned that kind of surprised you about the players who stepped up, who are still here, that maybe you didn't expect to get from them? Anything?
I think we've continued to get, whether it was an expectation or not, really good production from our wide backs. Ron, 2 big assists, or 1 big assist in the Georgia game, a big assist. I don't know how many consecutive games, an assist in the Villanova game on the 2nd goal, which put it away. Very good assist the other day on the road. So a lot of production from them. Camille, I think Ash has gotten better every game. They let the Georgia forward get in behind us, and so we kind of challenged them going into this game because number 29, Lena Bailey for Florida, she was a handful, right? Big, strong, physical, fast presence. And we said it. We let the Georgia kid get in behind us too frequently. We can't let that happen again today. And I thought they both, her and Soph, were women in that game. And so really proud of how Camille has stepped up. Carissa Beckman, right, has never played the 6 before in her life, and we made her a 6 on day 1 of preseason, similar to what we did with Nesbeth, our first fall in 22. I think Beckman has stepped up big time there. Peyton, Little McGovern, right, she's been an animal in the air, but also her soccer on the floor has been really, really good. So and then Huff has scored in every game since those kids have been gone. She's got 6 goals. I don't know how many assists, but just her 2-way play and 90 minutes of soccer for the most part. She's been massive. And Puerta, was scoring goals early. Hasn't scored, I don't think, in a couple of games, but she's played some really good balls that have led to some good attacking moments. And we showed a clip the other day in that goal I just referenced where Ron played Huff for the 2nd goal against Villanova. Ashlyn Puerta had a very sophisticated, we talk about bumping players physically to protect space. Puerta had an attacking bump. A lot of times bumping is on the defensive end and not letting players get in behind you. She bumped a kid in the box who was trying to step to defend Huff when Huff scored that goal, and that's just a very sophisticated move. And Ashlyn Puerta, she's very good on the ball, but then she's also very, very clever. So honestly, a lot of different people. And then Nina to get a very savvy little assist the other day. Hopefully that's going to help her confidence. So I think a lot of people have stepped up over these last few weeks, and who knows, we might need that for another couple weeks moving forward.